This is my ASMR chant. No, it's not. Welcome back. It's me, Davis. Alright, so today I got a story for y'all on a previously mentioned lake. Not one that I used to live on, but one that a friend of mine, who I referred to as Tanner, lived on. This is actually the same lake lot as a previously mentioned, in episode 4, water slide incident. So, I said last time that on this lake lot during birthdays, Tanner's dad he has a boat, and he takes people out on the lake to tube. And he is an insane driver. If you're looking for some extreme tubing, this is the guy. Because when he drives the boat, he finds a way to make these massive waves and then go fast. Oh, that sounds really simple, but it's not, because to make big waves you have to go slow. But to go fast, you have to go fast.
Really?
Yeah. So you fly. It's basically like paragliding, but you're on the water half the time, and you're also being jerked around very, very violently. Now, this was for also previously mentioned Tomifer's birthday, and this happened about 1.5 years after the water slide incident. And so he has 2 tubes. He puts 2 tubes on the back of the boat, a girl's tube and a boy's tube. And I, of course, load down to the boys' tube. Both hold 3 people. Now, this was not my first ride of the day. I had been on a couple other times. And I was, really pumped for this one. Because he said he was pulling out all of the stops. And I get on with Tanner. And some teenaged boy that I'm not super familiar with. I think it was an older cousin of Tomifer's. And so, we get on the tube. The boys' tube is like a flat donut that you hold on to, whereas the girls' is something, it's got like a seats in it, and you sit down in it. So we're not nearly as secure as the girls. Not saying that the girls would not fly off, because when he does this, it's super serial. So, we get out on the lake, and we start really going. He was not lying when he said that we pulled out all the stops. He was going to pull out all the stops. We were 75% of the time, we were in the air, bouncing around. It was like, whoosh, it was like, if you imagine walking on holding on to the side of a plane wing, right? But that plane wing was not secured to a plane. It was actually just being pulled by a rope, and it was flapping around all sorts of ways. And both tubes were doing this. Now, before anyone had fallen off, there was a point where, just as we were landing to get into the water again, the 2 tubes slammed together and then landed in the water. Now, this teenager, he's on the outside, I'm in the middle, and Tanner is on the, right, and he's on my left, and the girls' tube is to our left. This dude jumps off of the boys' tube onto the girls' tube as it starts moving away, and he lands on it. And my sister and 2 of her friends are on the other tube, and they're all screaming, and they're punching this guy. They're like, he starts fighting back. He's on his knees, fist fighting 3 little girls, right, on a tube that is bound. I don't know how he's staying on securely, right? Because, like I said, 75% of the time, we're up in the air. We are actually flying with the occasional bump and whoosh of a wave, and this dude is on his knees, fighting a bunch of girls. Well, eventually, my sister gets him a couple times in the head too hard, and he's like... So they come... just as my sister punches him for like the last time, it looks like he's gonna go off, but the boy, Martin turns, and he slams the boy's tube into the girl's tube, and he flies onto me. This teenager, I never caught his name. I'm gonna call him Jackson. He seemed like a real Jackson. Jackson punches him, rolls off onto me. And he's half hanging off the tube. The tube split away. He's holding on to my waist. And he is halfway off the tube. He's being dragged. Like, when you fall off a tube, right? And you hit the water at the speed you're going, which is, it's faster than most cars on the road. It hurts. Like, but it only hurts for a little bit, because you only hit the water for a little bit, right? He is getting constant belly flops on his legs. So, every time he tries to climb up more, he's like, help me! He's like Anakin crawling out of the volcano, except he keeps slipping. He slips down further and further until eventually, he's holding on to my ankles. And he goes one last big whoosh, like a big old lunge. And he grabs my pants. And he starts pulling down my pants. Like, not in a sexy way. But my buns are exposed. And he's like, help me! Alright, I cannot imagine the pain this guy's in. Because, it's seriously, now he is most of his body, and it's just constant belly flop on every exposed part of his body. And I slip. I let, my hands my fingers, one by one, pop off the handles. And now I'm just using my friction to hold on to the tube. He's all the way off. He's like, you're coming with me. Get over here. You're coming down with me. If I'm going, you're going. And then I start kicking him. I start kicking this dude because I don't want to fall off. I'm having the time. We're going to have to stop to go back and pick him up, but, the point of the game is to stay on the tube. I only ever fall off the tube on purpose at, near the end when I'm like, oh, hey, look how far I got without falling off the tube. I'm going to jump off the tube, and then I do that's unrelated. Well, it's not to this instance. Start kicking this dude, and at this point, I'm halfway off the tube. My legs are dragging, and I'm slipping away faster and faster. And so I give one final kick, boom, right in the jaw. He lets go. I look back, and he's just like, it's like someone had him tied to a bungee cord, and we were going far away from the bungee cord, and then the bungee cord couldn't take anymore, and it just yanked him back. He was like, and I scuttered back up on. I look over at Tanner. He's laughing his head off. He's red. I am, because what an experience. It felt like a real, almost like I was holding on to the Hasselhoff's back, and Dennis was trying to stomp on me with his spiked boots. And I got him first.
The Hasselhoff.
The Hasselhoff.
Referring to David Hasselhoff's role
in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. I'm a goofy goober, yeah. And so we pull around and we pick him up, and he's like, I can't believe you just did that. And I'm like, what happened to your cool voice? And he's like, I never had a cool voice, that was just in your head. He didn't say that, because that was in my head.